Options seem a little bit slim for this Sunday's Draftstars selection here, especially in the halves position. I found there only three probably decent ones there. So the outside backs, I'm probably going to be targeting guys from the Dogs in this one against the Knights, and Dragons and Cowboys probably a little bit split if we're playing just the individual games there. But if we're looking at these outside backs, Val Holmes, obviously a super solid pick at the moment, has been super consistent, hitting 44 as his lowest in his last 4 games. So if you can get anything above that, you're getting your value for money at that salary of $16,720. Scott Drinkwater, a little bit lower of recent time, but I still think he's a great option against the Dragons. It's going to be a pretty dry weather footy game at Dragons home ground there, and I think that any of those guys, Lomax especially, Jack Bird, all really solid options, but Jackie would probably be my most preferred pick just because he's going to be a lot safer this week. Only issue now is he moves to the centres, but we know how he's scored in that position before. He usually gets a little bit more attacking stats, whether it's the tackle breaks and the offloads, when he gets that early ball. So the only worry now is it'll be interesting to see how they use him on an edge in the centres rather than him being on the edge or playing through the middle. So that's my only concern with him. But other than that, guys like Addo-Carr, I think Karaz are all going to be solid options this week if they can get multiple tries. So they're probably the play I would be going. You know, you get Shop there, who is probably way too expensive compared to what someone like Karaz can offer. The 38.7 was solid last week, but you get him at 11k, which is really, really cheap. The other one to go for would be someone like Jake Averillo, who is back in the 1 jersey. If he actually plays there an hour before kickoff, that would be ideal. But a couple of low ones the previous weeks that he has played just brings his price down a fair bit. And I think it's way too low compared to the scores he was getting those 4 games before. So Averillo is definitely on my radar as well, but just waiting for that final teams to make those types of decisions, I think, in this week. So we move to the halves and hookers, and I only think there's 3 options this week. You got Burton, you got Robson, and you got Jeremy Marshall-King. So all 3 of those guys are going to be great. If you have that extra 3k, then definitely grab Burton. If you don't, I think Jeremy Marshall-King's going to be a solid one to pick up. Has had a few games that are a little bit inconsistent, but overall has been really, really great over the past couple of months, and I'm really happy for him and his output. But guys like Reece Robson are going to be great in that Cowboys v St. George game, and I think he's the play in that one. You could go for someone like Ben Hunt, but I just feel like the output he's providing on the actual field isn't translating to his fantasy scores, but just a big chunk of missed tackles and errors and stuff like that, really just hampering his fantasy output, regardless of how well he's actually playing on the park. And you got guys like Amone, if you think they could come out and have a decent game, but the big worry is that they come up against the Cows. So on the forward side of the ball, plenty to talk about again in this one. There's a few guys that I think that stand out a little bit, and you've got guys like Mitch Barnett. The main worry now is if he's going to actually play on the edge in that position he's named in, number 12, or he's actually going to switch with Brodie Jones, who will come into that edge point. And, you know, Barnett's played a lot more 13 than what someone like Brodie Jones has. So I think if you can get Brodie on an edge, I think I like him a lot more if he can get some big minutes through there, because I'm not exactly sure how many he will play through the middle. So him on the edge, I think, is a solid option. Jackson Torpany, if we're going to get real cheap as well. No history this year, he hasn't played, but last season, when he got that opportunity to play some good minutes, whether it's at 9, backup 9, or playing as a forward off the bench, he had a really nice PPM. So I think Torpany, if he actually gets that start and doesn't get moved to the bench, he's a guy you want to be selecting in your side. So we get back to the top. They're the very interesting selections I would be looking at. Guys like Clemmer are going to be a pretty solid one to go here. After he had very much a lighter game last week, I think he's going to really step up against his old club, the Dogs, and play some big minutes and try and get a big win for his Knights team at home when they really, really need it. So he's the one I'd be looking at. Looks like Cotter's a great chance of playing, but I don't think it's going to be big minutes. So him at the 20,500, obviously his form shows that he can do that, but I don't think he's going to get the minutes this week to uphold that that price there. You got Taumalolo with the 48 average, so he's looking okay, but the price is still a little bit awkward with him not being able to really dominate at the moment. You got guys like Max King, who are coming off of 51 and could get close to that, but again, it's not something that we're super comfortable with at this stage. So I think you got to stick with those top guys up top, and then someone like Blake Laurie, who has been really solid apart from that 29 2 weeks ago. So if you can avoid that, anything at 11,600, that 39.8 is his lowest in the last 6 there around that. So Blake Laurie's another great one to pop into your side. So plenty of value in each of the positions there. I wish you guys all the best of luck. Jump in that description, hit that sign up link, and we'll catch you in the next video, guys, which will be that wrap up one. See you later.